Hello and welcome to this film, The Mysteries of the Giza Pyramids and the Stonehenge Connection. The Pyramids of Giza, to this day, remain one of the greatest unsolved mysteries for a number of reasons. One cannot help but be fascinated by its sheer size and the volume of material that went into building them. Here are some of those figures. The Giza Pyramid initially stood at 481 feet, with a base length of 756 feet. This gives the volume of roughly 92 million cubic feet. It is estimated that the Giza Pyramid was built with 2.6 million stone blocks that weighed between 2.5 to 15 tons each, which is estimated to be 6 million tons in total. White limestone blocks were imported by boat down the Nile from Tura for the casing, and granite blocks from Aswan, weighing up to 80 tons each, for the king's chamber. To me, it felt like there was something hidden, something not yet explained about the construction and the craftsmanship required to build the pyramids of Giza during the reign of Khufu, approximately 2,500 years ago. With such a vast amount of material that was required, cut and moved, I was extremely skeptical towards the various theories of how the stones were transported, i.e., with lines of men pulling them over wooden rollers. I needed to find the answer to the many questions I had regarding the Giza Pyramids. Later that day, I went into my channeling mode with the question, who were the original creators of the pyramids? In an instant, I was taken back to approximately 75,000 years ago and was looking at a large pyramid that stood close to the River Nile. No one could detect my presence because I was in my astral body. There was great activity all around me. Then my attention was drawn to the three beings. One must have been 3 meters tall, and the other two slightly smaller. The taller one was busily instructing the workers, whilst the other two were focused upon a 2-ton stone. I could clearly see that the stone was surrounded by a glowing light, which I knew was the anti-gravity shield that allowed the large stone to levitate. In that moment, one of the workers gently pushed the stone with ease towards its allotted place, some 50 yards away. Telepathically, the guidance said to me, "You can now see how the creators of the pyramids used levitation as a means to move the stones, which is possible even with the largest 80-ton granite stones that were placed in the king's chamber." I was told that the three beings were from the planet Fat Tree in the constellation of Orion, and had journeyed to Earth to chiefly mine lithium and gold. The lithium they sought was needed to stabilize their DNA, which was beginning to deteriorate due to the negative effects of the sun's rays of the two suns that were orbiting the Fat Tree planet. The gold was chiefly used to stabilize the ozone layer of their planet, which was being eroded by the gamma rays of the two suns that were orbiting their planet. This was done by turning the gold into fine powder that was then impregnated into the ozone layer to strengthen and establish it, giving the protection that was needed in the upper hemisphere. In the next instance, I was standing in the control area of their mother ship in outer space, close to Earth. Just in front of me stood a being that must have been over 3 meters tall, who I was told was the master of the ship. He was talking to other beings from Fat Tree, who were approximately 2 meters tall. Telepathically, I heard them discussing the construction of the pyramid and its progress. They were also talking about how they were beginning to feel the negative effects that the Earth's atmosphere was having upon their bodies. I was told that every 11 days, those on Earth had to return to the mother ship to be decontaminated. Then the discussion turns towards how one of the 3 masters of the ship had unexpectedly died centuries before his time, which they said was due to the negative effects that the Earth's atmosphere was having over all of them. My guidance then informed me that in their tradition, a pyramid was built to hold the embalmed corpse of a master to maintain its spiritual connection. I now understood why the pyramids were built and why the mummification of the body was so important to them. It was their traditional way of managing death. Then the guidance took me to approximately 5,000 years ago, which was when the Fat Tree last returned to Earth, chiefly because they needed more minerals, especially lithium and gold. I was informed that the Fat Tree Orion beings cared for the people of Earth and in many ways advanced human technology, such as methods of crop irrigation and masonry. Some of the Fat Tree people also died whilst being on Earth, hence the building of the current Giza Pyramid related to the death of the higher ranked Fat Tree beings. They also recognized how much King Khufu meant to the people of Egypt. This is why they were now building a smaller pyramid in accordance to their tradition to honor King Khufu's death. In 2500 BC, the Giza Pyramid was completed, and some 30 years later the Fat Tree beings and their mothership departed to return to the planet Fat Tree in the Orion constellation. I slowly came back into my body and regained full consciousness as I was grounding myself to Mother Earth. It became clear to me that there were some similar traits between Giza and Stonehenge. Here is my journey of discovery. The Stonehenge Connection. I first visited Stonehenge when I was 7 years old, and that first impression of awe has never changed. As it happens, I live in a part of Wales where the stones of Stonehenge were quarried over 3,000 years ago. That area is called Mynydd Carnigli, Newport, Pems. One summer's day, I went to Mynydd Carnigli to meditate and find the answer to my inner questions of, did the stones from Stonehenge come from here? I knew where to sit and meditate from previous times, so I settled down and went into a deep meditation. I was informed that the shamans knew that there were higher beings present but lacked communication skills. Then, in 3000 BC, higher beings decided that the shamans had sufficiently evolved and were ready to receive deeper guidance. They knew this because the shamans had replaced the totem-like poles with a circle of 5 standing stones at the exact place where a major magnetic vortex was, which were connected to ley lines. The higher beings then descended to the Stonehenge site to raise the consciousness of the shamans and humankind. Then, around 2700 BC, the magical work started on erecting the unique stone circle that to this day stands at Stonehenge, be it in a dilapidated state. The process of erecting Stonehenge. The land site of Stonehenge is a major site where a number of ley lines and magnetic vortexes unite. The stones required had to hold a specific vibration for the purpose required, which were the sarsen and blue stone found in Mynydd Carnigli. Then, suddenly I was transported to the site where the stones were being mined and was etherically present, watching the work in progress. Two workers were assigned to each stone that was levitating and pushed it forward with ease along the lane that eventually led to the awaiting ships. In that moment, I knew what the connection was between the pyramids and Stonehenge, i.e., levitation. Telepathically, the higher being told me that the tools of levitation works by consciously neutralizing the gravitational pull that is naturally in place on the physical dimension. I was also told you too can do this by training your consciousness to neutralize the gravity that holds it down. I was then transported into the year 2600 BC at the Stonehenge site. The sacred site was complete and the energy it held was inexplicable. Standing near to the center of the circle were 7 shamans and 2 higher beings that were locked into a ceremony. I was told to simply observe what was taking place. I was told that the ceremony was specifically held to open a portal. Then, one of the shamans intuitively stepped into the portal and vanished, along with the other higher being. Then I was told that each of the shamans were teleported to a specific planet to receive deeper guidance, which they could incorporate into their guidance to others. "30 minutes later, there was a flash of light at the spot where the portal had been established, and one of the shamans reappeared, quickly followed by the other 6. They seemed to be bemused by their experiences, but quickly embraced each other and honored the higher beings with a flow of love and respect. I thank the higher beings for showing me how the pyramids of Giza and Stonehenge were linked through the use of levitation by different beings. I gradually came back into my physical body and rested for some minutes to ground myself before opening my physical eyes again. I thank you for watching and listening to this video. Peace, love and light, Ralph Jenkins.